Colorful and chaotic. That's how actress Minka Kelly describes her childhood, one that was full of struggle as she watched her mom battle addiction, experience domestic violence, and attempt to make ends meet, all before dying of cancer in 2008. Now Kelly is putting her pain on paper, bearing it all in her memoir, Tell Me Everything. She sat down with our Trevor Ault to talk about honesty and healing.
Actress, model, philanthropist, Minka Kelly has been in the public spotlight for years, beginning with her role as cheerleader Lila Garrity in the iconic show Friday Night Lights.
A little late, aren't you?
Yeah, sorry.
Name?
Lila Garrity.
But there's so much more to Kelly, and now the star is telling her own story, sharing the difficult details of her childhood and her path to fame.
I know that you've talked about in this book and in some of your interviews how for a long time you wanted to avoid talking about your personal life. Now you're really talking about your personal life.
Yeah.
You still stand by that? You don't regret that at this point with all these interviews?
You know, I have had moments where I've asked myself, what am I doing? Why did I do this? It's not natural for me to, you know, want to be this vulnerable and share this much of myself. But I've gotten to a point where I just feel like I'm on the other side of a lot of really painful and shameful experiences and mindsets that I feel like it's not mine anymore. It's my responsibility now to share.
You talk in great depth about your childhood, about your relationship with your mother and her struggles with addiction, at times that you're living in storage lockers. But also, your story is not just listen to the childhood that I had and how hard it was. I mean, what are the takeaways that you want people to have from your book beyond just learning what made you?
It's less about learning what made me and more about the importance of grace and forgiveness and learning how to let go of resentment for the people that might have hurt you, because people don't move about the world intending to hurt people they love. There's a reason why times get hard, and I have been through a really long and deep healing journey, and I also feel like my mother's story deserves to be told, because she's not the only single mother who struggled with addiction and had to make ends meet on her own and did what she had to do to survive.
And you do really make a point in talking about your mother. I mean, a lot of people, I feel like, if they were speaking their mother struggled with addiction and working as a stripper, like, you're very clear your mother's not a villain in the story.
Thank you. I really appreciate you saying that. I worked really hard to make sure, because on the surface, a lot of people would mistake her for being a villain and villainize her and say that she was a bad mom. I had a therapist tell me she was a bad mom. So
Really?
I really appreciate you knowing that and understanding that. It's so much more complex than just saying someone was bad.
I'm curious, as somebody who has been, I mean, your personal life, while I know you largely tried to avoid talking about it, a lot of it played out in tabloids over years and things like that. Knowing where you're at now in maybe your own sense of peace or your own personal boundaries, what would you want a younger Minka to know about wading through all those waters?
I am excited to write my own narrative now. I would tell that previous Minka that it's okay that one day you'll tell your story on your terms when you're ready. I look forward to us getting to a place where we don't reduce women based on who the world might think that they're associating them with by what you see on TV or on the internet. I'm excited that we're getting to a place where we want to know more about people and see what's beneath the surface. There's more than meets the eye to all women. And I'm excited to be someone to finally tell the story on my terms and say that there's more than just associating me with people you've seen in the tabloids.
Given your childhood that you talk about extensively in the book, what were the lessons, for better or for worse, that you think you learned from that upbringing as a young adult and also as the years played out and as you continue to grow?
I learned a lot what not to do in my childhood, and that was all conscious choices and lessons. But then when you get into the subconscious, you know, you grow up and you tell yourself, I'm not going to repeat what I grew up in. I'm not going to repeat her mistakes. I'm going to make different choices. I'm going to live a different kind of life. And you do that. But then you find yourself stuck in certain maybe dysfunctional patterns. and you're like, why does this keep happening? And then you do a lot of therapy, and you find a life coach, and you do everything you can to understand all these things about you, and you find out, oh my God, my subconscious has been controlling a lot of the way I was perceiving the world and operating in my relationships and recreating the chaos in your life you grew up in because it's what's familiar to you. And you go to what's familiar even if it hurts. But I had to unlearn that as an adult. I had to learn that now I'm a grown-up and I'm in charge and I'm safe. And I don't need to outsource my safety or my value to anyone.
Have you been hearing from women since you wrote this?
It's making being at parties more fun because we don't have to small talk. I am so excited now that I get to have real conversations and women come up to me and tell me about their complicated relationships with their mothers. I've talked 3 women into maybe extending an olive branch where they were refusing to beforehand. And that makes me emotional thinking about it right now because I would have loved to someone encourage me to do that a little bit sooner than I did.
Yeah.
So that's why this is very important to me. This is for my mom. My mom's story deserves to be told.
You know, you deserve a lot of credit because this is a very vulnerable position to put yourself in, writing a book about your upbringing. At any point when you were pretty far along the line where you're like, I don't know if I want to do this, or a huge section of the book, maybe that one's not for it.
There's so many things in this book that I wrote it all, I got it all out, and then I would want to go back and be like, okay, maybe this doesn't need to be in there. But it's actually those moments that are the most important, and now sharing those moments, they don't have any power over me anymore.
It sounds like you almost feel free now.
I feel free of shame, yeah. Yeah, I do. And it's a relief.
Our thanks to Trevor Ault for that. And you can buy Minka Kelly's Tell Me Everything book wherever books are sold.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.